Welcome to Sigma Estimates Basic Training. During this short introductory video, you'll learn the basics of using Sigma, the most user-friendly, flexible, and intuitive estimating software on the market. If you'll spend the next 13 minutes with us, we'll show you how to say goodbye to pencils, papers, calculators, and spreadsheets, and the costly errors that often result, and replace them with a system that allows you to estimate with accuracy and bid with confidence. This video will take you through the most essential features and steps you need to know about Sigma and prepare you to pick up right where we left off on your own. Here's an overview of what we'll cover. First, we'll introduce Sigma's intuitive user interface. You'll learn how to create content in the estimate and structure the project, how to reuse parts from previous estimates, use the libraries and see how you can use and reuse items and complete assemblies. We'll work with the sales prices and strategy, learn how to validate your work before you send it, and finally, how you can generate various PDF reports from the estimates. Okay, let's get started. Let's begin by looking at the powerful user interface of Sigma. Even though Sigma is a very feature-rich program, the interface is simple, comfortable, and familiar, very familiar to the latest Microsoft Office products. On top, you'll find ribbons like Home, View, Libraries, and Reports. The File tab will take you backstage, where you'll find buttons like Open, Recent, and Open From that will allow you to open documents from cloud-based services. In the upper left corner, you'll find the Quick Access toolbar for the most commonly used functions like New, Open, and Save. On the left-hand side, you'll find the cost breakdown structure, which you'll use to create the project and provide structure. A typical way to use this breakdown structure is to use the CSI master format divisions, Uniformat or similar, but it's completely customizable and you can create whatever works best for you. You can easily open and close items in the structure to see what's inside and even rearrange them by dragging and dropping around. On the right hand side of the estimate you'll find 5 pages. Content. This is where you add items, components, and assemblies, and create the cost breakdown structure of the project. Other tabs are Summary, Insight, and Key Figures, which will help you analyze and organize the entire estimate to provide a high-level view of the project. We'll get back to those pages later. Let's begin with the Content page. Let's create the cost breakdown structure and then add some content to our estimate. To build up the structure, just point to an item on the left-hand side and then enter more content in it on the right-hand side. The items in the spreadsheet on the right are subcomponents of the item you've chosen on the left. The level of detail you can achieve with this is limitless. Just keep adding more subcomponents until you have what you need. Notice that I'm pointing to the main heading of the estimate, Production Building, which consists of the subcomponents, construction site, shell, brickwork, carpentry, and steel construction. So if you wanted to add roofing, for example, just point here and type roofing. And you can see on the left-hand side it's added to my structure. Now to add further level of detail, I could point to roofing and add basic structure and surface. Again, on the left-hand side, you can see that the structure is created quickly and easily, and you can use as many levels as you like. Next, I'll point to the basic structure and start adding rafters. We'll say this is a material, and I'll count it in pieces. And I have 2 buildings times 20 pieces at a cost of $500 each. Then I could add a carpenter and type it in as 40 pieces by 2 hours. What you now have is everything that is automatically added up so that $23,528 is now the cost of my basic structure. If I point to my roofing, we can see that my basic structure now has a unit cost of that. Formulas are built into the program, so, unlike Excel, you can never type in the wrong cell and ruin anything. The program always knows that the quantity times the unit cost is what makes up the price. Basically, this is all you need to know to create your own projects in Sigma. Next, you'll learn how to increase speed and efficiency using libraries, but you can always fall back and just use the basic features of Sigma too. Reusing data from previous estimates is easy. This will save you time and improve accuracy by adding content that you've already built before. Since Sigma is a file-based system, All of your projects are saved into the files that you can email or store in folders, just like the ones you're used to working with in the Microsoft Office programs. Let's open a previous project to reuse something. Just go to File, click Open, and browse to the right project. In this case, it's a parking garage that I did a while ago. Opening it, you'll see that the screen is split into two. So on the top I have my parking garage, and down below I have the production building that I'm estimating right now. I want to use the cavity wall from the previously built parking garage in my production building. I just drag and drop like this to the walls in my production building. Notice now that if I open the wall in my estimate structure, you can see that the cavity wall is now included in my new estimate. I can also open the cavity wall and see more detail. Everything followed in the drag and drop operation. I can also do modifications to some of these line items if I want to adjust it to the project that I'm estimating right now. Now that we've seen how to reuse data from previous projects, this is a good time to show you how to build up libraries and store historical data, and reuse them in new libraries and share them with others. So let's assume that we wanted to put this wall into an assembly library. We would simply create a new library, and we'll call it Assemblies. And now you see a split screen where the library is on top and the estimate is below. Libraries work very much like estimates, so we can easily add walls, roofing, and other sections to them. In walls, I can just do the same drag and drop operation, and that's it. I've now stored this cavity wall in my library. Just save the library the same way you would an estimate. Close it and easily go back to my library section and reopen it whenever it's needed. This makes it quick and easy to store anything in your own custom libraries, reopen them, and use them for future estimates. A really easy way to reuse content from your libraries is to add them to the Quick List module in Sigma. By doing that, you can prompt suggestions from your library while you're in your estimate. I'll just start by typing walls and notice the suggestions that pop up from the libraries. Here's our wall again, so I'll just hit enter and put in how many square feet I need. Sigma makes it very easy to reuse anything quickly and easily. In addition to storing assemblies in your libraries, you can store resource lists like labor, materials, or equipment, so you can easily add a mason, punch in some hours, and add some equipment. This is an accurate and efficient way of building your estimate intelligently. Besides creating your own libraries, you'll also have the option to buy RS Means cost data libraries, which can be integrated with Sigma. You'll find them in the top ribbon if you have access to those. You can go to sigmaestimates.com to find more information on how to buy and install those databases. So far we've looked at how to create a structure and how to add content to our estimate. We entered in items manually, reused them from previous projects, and also used libraries to store and retrieve information. If you're working with both cost and sales prices, so far you only have the cost. If you want your job to be profitable, it's time to set the sales price. So far we've only worked with the contents page in Sigma. Now to work with the cost and sales prices, so let's switch to the summary page. On this page you'll find a complete overview of the entire estimate. You see the first two levels, the unit quantities, the total cost, and the total sales price. The difference between them is the margins. An easy and efficient way to add margins to the cost is to use the automatic markup calculator. You'll find it in the summary ribbon. If you enable that, you can add profit to any category level, like equipment, labor, materials, subcontractors, and other categories. By doing that, Sigma introduces a new column here called Overhead. Based on the input values you gave to categories, Sigma analyzes all components and figures out what auto margins to add to that component. The result is a suggested sales price, which we can see for all the components and as a grand total. Now if you want to change that, let's say to 1.2 million, we just type it in and Sigma will automatically figure out where to put the additional profits based on a linear analysis of the entire cost estimate. Anytime you enter in a new value for a component, Sigma will handle whatever happens to that and all the subcomponents too, showing you the final result in both the grand total and the expected margins. Unlike Excel, you can never break a formula. It's just like working with the contents page. As an estimator, you know that figuring out the right price for a project is not that easy. You need to have a good overview of resources and unit prices and a way to make sure that everything is included in the project. Let me show you how to validate your estimate, ensuring that it's accurate and complete. As you may remember from the contents page, we added rafters and entered materials in the category. Now Sigma uses this category to group the estimate based on different categories and shows it in the resources page. Let's click on the resource page. Here you can see that the basic structure is now built up from labor and materials. If I click on the entire production building, I see that the equipment, the labor, and the materials for the entire project. I see the total quantities, I see the average unit prices, and the total cost. I can show a pie chart, which gives me the distribution between the different kinds of resources, and I can also click on the different parts of the project, for example, a construction site, to see the distribution or what it requires for this part of the project. The resources page is a very basic but powerful way to get an overview of the resources in your project. If you want to do more analysis, you can go to the Insight page. The Insight page is an engine in Sigma that can reuse all of the information already in the project to set up the new views by grouping and filtering. You can use predefined views or you can set up your own. The examples here are an operations page where you can see all the basic operations like concrete and ground operations. You have a list of materials per main groups, and you can also see which labor, material, and equipment resources you're going to use for each operation. Together with the key figures page, Sigma has a lot of powerful tools to help you better understand and analyze your estimate easily by regrouping the information already in the project. And if you like, you can set up and configure those pages to suit your own needs or the company corporate standards. To help you present your estimates professionally, Sigma has a powerful PDF report generator. With just a few clicks, you can use the built-in reports to create and present high-quality documents for your client. To create a report in Sigma, just go to the Reports ribbon, find a report, and click on it. Sigma will ask you a few questions depending on the report type, like insert a logo, customer accept, client information, intro to the letter, etc. And all you need to do is modify that information, click OK, and Sigma will generate the report file for you in a PDF version that you can send directly to the customer. Sigma comes with a number of built-in reports like different types of estimates, lists of materials, task lists, internal reporting, and purchasing materials. It's easy to use these reports or change and modify them to meet your needs, add your own company logo, or create new reports. When you install Sigma, you can choose from various profiles like contractor, architect, engineer, or general projects, and that profile will set up the project for you with the correct template. You can learn more about profiles at our website, sigmaestimates.com, where you can sign up to be a part of the Sigma community. Well, that about sums it up. We hope you've enjoyed Sigma's basic training and found it helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us. We'll be happy to help. We also offer free live webinars, one-on-one training, and anything else you need to use our software more effectively. Thank you for watching.